Alright, so I've got a few other little things to show you on the block, on the engine, what I'm going to do there with the waterline and stuff, but let's just look at this bit of 30 by 30. Just on it's holding it flat on the wheel, up against the guard. It's still a little bit in, so I reckon 35mm bolt-ons. Pretty sweet. Get the wheel out where I want it. Very nice. I'll get some spaces for it, because I want to run a fairly standard size wheel, like a 10 or a 10.5. So I can fit all the average size tires and not have to worry about odd size tires and odd fitment, and then also helps you can even borrow wheels because everyone runs that size. Anyway, what else? What am I doing over here? Oh yeah, knock sensors. This is half of the factory RB25 knock sensor. They normally have a green plug sticking off the back here, but I took it to a machine shop and got them to pair it off on the lathe, and also he drilled the hole in the center and tapped M8 into it. So this factory sensor is now just an adapter, really. So it goes back into standard location. I've got the Bosch 2-wire knock sensors. The RB runs 2 sensors, one there and one there. So you can check on your ECU for any knock in the front or the rear of the motor. That bolt. But yeah, so basically one hand YouTuber life. You can run the preferred knock sensor of your tuner, most tuners. The Bosch 2-wire knock sensor. 2 of those. Took another one, paired that off as well. So we'll chuck those in. Not right now, but I just wanted to show you what I did so that I was able to fit these sensors. Because you can't, I think someone actually does make an adapter, but the guy charged me like $30 to machine both of these in the mill, in the lathe. I just went to like a local machinist. $30 cash, which I thought was a pretty sweet deal. And they're a lot more reliable because the factory RB knock sensors are single wire and they tend to sometimes not read, which isn't great. Nobody wants knock. What else am I doing? Also, the water line. So the water line that normally goes from here on your RB block to here somewhere, feeds water from the front to the back of the motor. So your number 6 and number 5 don't get cooked over there. So speed flow fittings. Oops. Chuck that one in there. And I got a weld-on fitting, which I'm gonna chop this off here, and then weld this fitting so that it points out this way. Then I'm just gonna have yield Teflon braided line running from, oops, also gonna put a 90 degree in here. From there, straight under there, straight line. No rubber hose, no ever explodey, no ever have big puddle of coolant at the start line. Ultra reliable, never ever gonna pop, which is a bit of a common thing on the RBs. The old rubber hoses underneath the plenum where you can't get to them, the inlet manifold and this little hose which goes, I think, to the idle control valve or something. on the RB, not using that. I've got the electric throttle body, the fly-by-wire one, which will do all the cold start and that. So I don't need any heated up plenums or anything. So I just want it to be ultra reliable and not have any water leaks under the manifold that are hard to get to and irritating, and no chance of you fixing them in 5 minutes if you have to pull a 5-minute rule to fix your car. That's it. So I was going to do that, chop this, weld this, and make that line up. Just little things, but poking along. Still waiting for my crank to come back from the machinist, so he's taking his time. Says he's flat out. Everyone's got a lot of spare time on their hands. Apparently everyone's building race engines. So, yeah. Anyway, do this. Still. Cardboard on me. Half of the old girl. Not quite flat. Little blur on there. Sweet. I got an old fitting I'll just screw on there with some tape wrapped around it so I don't get any splatter on the thread. Because that would be irritating. the tank. Get my torch and check I've got no holes. Pretty good. Bit of a dag on the bottom I want to clean up because I was having trouble getting around behind it. So I just made sure I put lots there. You want to see? Welded stuff. Welded things. Got a bit blobby on the bottom, but shouldn't leak. It's attached. So that's that. I'm going to rotate this sucker back up. Why didn't I TIG it? Probably asking would have been neater. It looked a bit rusty, and rust doesn't weld, so I didn't trust myself not to burn a giant hole through it. Whereas the MIG, you can be more of a retard and still join things. So hot, 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 ow, ow, ow. So, yeah. What do I do with other things? Now I can measure the line, cut the line. Do a little bit of an S, very slight, but from there onto there, happy days. That's pretty good. I'll do that now. Choppy choppy. Okie dokie, so I've marked where I want to cut it according to the fitting. So the fitting, black fitting, it's hard to see. So you want the braid to come up onto the bevel, and then it gets locked in by the nut. But you got to wrap tape around the braid, because when you cut it, it flares out and makes it really hard to get the nut on. So if you put tape around there and then cut it, it kind of holds the braid so you can get the nut on. It's still pretty unpleasant. Struggled a bit with this one. It's been a while since I've done one, but so I've cut it slightly long so that I can just flex it a little bit to get it on there, because it's kind of like a straight line. So I don't want to have a big wavy piece sitting there. I want it to look kind of nice, but I don't want it to be too short either. So yeah, cut that and then screw the thingy on. We'll see how we go. Kind of straight. Then fan sticking out everywhere. Come on, come on. Yeah. Too far. Ding, 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 ding. Definitely easier to put them in a vise. You can buy soft jaws, like aluminium jaws with magnets on that go in your vise to stop you from marking your fittings. Nobody's going to crawl under my inlet manifold and see that I didn't scratch the paint off these fittings. So, not much care. I've just got these smooth steel ones that I put in. Got a nice shifter. How tight do you go? Pretty tight. Magic. Let's see if this fits. Lucky I got enough hose to do another bit in case I stuff this up. Let's hope not. Success. That. Look at that. Wow. There we go. Put some paint on there because that was just a mild steel fitting. I don't want it to rust and look crappy, even though no one's going to look under there, but yay, 0 chance of ever blowing the water line underneath the inlet manifold. Now it's that done. A little project. I was kind of hoping to get my crank for the weekend, put my engine together. Because if I don't, then I have to sand the engine bay, which is kind of unpleasant. But, anyways, thanks for watching. Check out isleofdrift.com.au, the website, and the clothing range and stuffs. And yeah. See you on the next one. Bye.